As we welcome you back to PGSN for the second batter of today's game, it's the Vikings versus the Fremont Silver Wolves. Hudson Banks pitching for Pleasant Grove today in an 0-1 count. On the second batter of the day, the first batter grounded out. Strike number 2, count moves 0-2 for Hudson. He started the first game and the first home game for Pleasant Grove this season. Had a very solid outing, 5 innings, only allowing 1 run. The 0-2, cut on and miss. Strike 3, his first punch out of the day. He had 5 his last time out. So continuing his consistency with 1K per 9, or excuse me, 1K per inning. So with 2 outs, Hudson's first pitch inside, 1-0. Banksy looking for success early. As that one skied, popped into center field, drifting in and making the catch for Pleasant Grove. So crisp 1-2-3 for the Vikings here in the top of the first. And now their lineup coming up in the bottom half of this inning will be RJ Wilson, Drew Smith, and Tua Wolfgram. Kind of the 3-headed monster we've seen from this team typically this season, and what we expect to see a little bit throughout the year. RJ, of course, the left-hander, kind of mixing up the lineup a little bit. And the Vikings will face on the bump against them is Hayden Hudman, who we will see on batting 7th as well. So a man of many talents on the mound for Fremont today. As for Pleasant Grove, RJ Wilson bats leadoff, Drew Smith in second, Tua Wolfgram at third. Batting cleanup is Jacob Baxter. He's playing short today. Gabe McCoy in center. He made the catch to end out that last inning. And then we have Mason Henry playing, or excuse me, Slater Scow batting 6th. Mason Henry playing first. Noah Brady is the DH tonight. Rex Harward playing in left. And then, of course, as we mentioned, Hudson Bakes on the bump through his 1-2-3 inning. As joining me on the mic, somebody who's been rather quiet today. Welcome the freshman, the young guy, Zane Grothy. As Hudson with a crisp start to his outing. As Wilson is ready to take the bump. RJ, their first home game this season. Through their first 2 games, 8 plate appearances, a single, and a home run. So some decent success at the plate for RJ. And as previously mentioned, he will face Hayden Hudman, who's wearing number 12. And the first delivery from Hudman is dropped in there. RJ fouls it back down the left field line and out of play. RJ fouls off the second offering. It's an 0-2 count now. Hudman early. Takes it inside. 1-2 moves the count. As RJ pokes that one foul, staying alive. The 1-2 from Hudman. Still dealing with RJ. Is cut on and missed. So RJ strikes out to begin the game for Pleasant Grove offensively, and that brings up Drew Smith, the Westlake transfer, having a very successful season so far. Has been a big piece of this Pleasant Grove team and a big addition. As with nobody on, Drew fouls that one off down the right field line. So Pleasant Grove with a lot of contact so far. Nothing's been put in play yet. And the 0-1 is skied into right center field, drifting over, camping under it, and making the catch for Fremont is the center fielder, Jace Hadley. Now that brings up Wolfgram. Wolfgram, another Viking with a solid season so far. Had a two-run home run down in St. George, and he takes a high fastball there. And the 1-0. Takes another high fastball, almost the identical spot from Hudman. And Wolfgram goes up 2-0 in this count. So a 2-0 count, 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the first inning. Still tied 0-0. Hudman delivers. Wolfgram cuts and misses. He'll step out for a second. For Pleasant Grove, if Wolfgram gets on, Jacob Baxter, the shortstop, will come up. Pitch is taken outside by Wolfgram, 3-1. 2-0 will be catching for Pleasant Grove defensively today. The 3-1 to Wolfgram, taken high and outside, so that puts a threat on the base paths with Jacob Baxter, the cleanup man, coming up. So Pleasant Grove's offense struggled as they were down in St. George, scoring 10 runs in their first game, going 10-0. But beyond that, only scoring a total of, I believe it was 4 or 5 runs throughout the remainder of the 4-game series, as they are on a 3-game losing streak, as well as Fremont. Both teams looking to snap those 3-game skids. As pitch number 1 for Baxter is taken for a ball. Baxter's not a guy who's scared to lay down a bunt every once in a while. The 1-0 is skied out of play, foul. And the 1-1 to Baxter. Wolfgram's on first. It's fouled back into the netting. So the 1-2 for Baxter. Wolfgram goes, and Baxter fouls it back, so Wolfgram's gonna have to head back. Wouldn't be surprised to see Wolfgram A guy who runs a lot throughout the season, but especially today. As Baxter prepares for the 1-2. It's in the dirt. Count moves 2-2. Wolfgram stayed put that time. And Wolfgram heads back as they check on the runner at first. Wolfgram goes. They check on him at first. He's caught in a pickoff. Caught in a rundown. In between first and second. Still dancing. He's going to dive. He's safe. So he gets in with the stolen base, even in the rundown.
Oh, he's going.
Oh, he's heading just to third. Nobody's covering. And Wolfgram steals 2 bases. They're going to send him back to second. They're going to call the umpire on time. But a good heads-up base running play by Wolfgram. Just being successful in that rundown is impressive nonetheless, but they're going to have a mound visit for Hudman now. It's always comforting as a hitter knowing that, you know, the pitcher might have the runner on his mind more than he has you. And that's kind of the situation Baxter's in, especially with how Wolfgram just executed that stolen base on the base paths. So Baxter with the 2-2, 2 outs. Wolfgram's on second, still scoreless. As Hudman deals, and Baxter hooks that one in between first and second. Wolfgram's going to round third. He's coming home. Baxter staying put at first. Wolfgram is safe. An RBI single for Jacob Baxter puts the Vikings up 1-0 early in this one. That was just a great job by Baxter poking that one past the infield into right field and getting a run on the board for Pleasant Grove early. And with Hudson on the mound, that's got to be something he's going to love, having that run in his back pocket. Gabe McCoy up to bat now with Baxter on first. He's also a threat to run, and he goes right away. Strike in there. Baxter is
out.
Thrown out. He had a really, really good jump. But Baxter 0 for 1 on the base paths. But he drove in a run for Pleasant Grove. Wolfgram scored it. Baxter brought him in. It's Vikings 1, Fremont 0, heading into the top of the second inning. Banks comes back out for his second inning of work. Went 1-2-3 in the first one. For Fremont, this inning he'll face Tony Marzial, Garrett Jones, and Brant Coford. Left field, first base, and third base. And if any of those men get on, he's going to face the guy on the opposite bump, Hayden Hudman. And then rounding out the lineup for Fremont is Tyson Grieve DHing, and Jace Hadley, he's playing center. Their designated defenseman is Kurt Dahl, he's in right field. For Pleasant Grove, their lineup, Banks is on the mound, and Wolfgram's the man out behind the plate, ready for him. And then going from third to first, playing third, is RJ Wilson. Baxter is playing short. Drew Smith at second, and then Mason Henry rounding out the infield at first base. And going from right to left in the outfield, it is Slater Scow, Gabe McCoy, and Rex Harward. Pleasant Grove got a good 10 guys out there. 9 guys. Don't know why I said 10. Good 9 guys out there as Banks is just continuing to warm up. Coach Henry and an umpire having a relatively prolonged discussion. I'm not sure if there's been a defensive change. I can't notice anything right away. And it was right in front of my face, a new catcher for the Vikings. Tua Wolfgram has been replaced. Hopefully for them, not an injury. But it is Cale Dunn, the junior for Pleasant Grove. For now, there is a chance that Wolfgram's just still getting dressed, but it looks like it's going to be done in the catcher's position. Hopefully we'll try and get some information on Wolfgram. The Vikings head out to their positions. Banks ready to go. Facing the left-handed Tony Marzio. Banksy, the lefty, drops one in there for ball 1. That's a pitch I feel like he's liked throughout the year, and a pitch he's probably going to continue to go to, but one that doesn't go for him. The 1-0. Cut on a missed high fastball. So very quickly, shout out to GK Jared, our insider in the dugout. Wolfgram was pulled for a shoulder issue. I'm not sure if that's something that's lingering or if that's something that just happened as he was sliding into home, but Wolfgram's day is done today as that one's fouled back. Pretty productive day at the plate. 1 walk, 1 run, and a stolen base. Couldn't really ask for much more.
I'm gonna be so honest. This is a lot, like, for me, like when I commentated for the volleyball game, I had no idea what any of the rules are, and if I'm being honest, I have no idea what the rules are.
Still very similar.
Like, I know very few rules.
If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm sure there are people out there who might have the same question as you. So Banks with 1 out, as there's a low strike. As he struck out the last batter. Now facing his 5th batter. He goes 1-1 on the count. Banks with a really, really solid season so far in just 3 games. As now he's up 1-2 in this count. Now the 1-2. Banks delivers, and that one's shot into right field and advanced on and caught by Slater Scow. As Banks with 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd inning. As I talked about in the bottom of the 1st, he's got that run in his back pocket here. Vikings are up 1-0. And you got to feel pretty good about that if you're Banks. I think the goal today is 5 scoreless from him, as that one is dropped down low. The 1-0 with 2 outs. Banks on the mound. Looks in, delivers. Another ball, that's low and inside. It's Brant Coford at the dish. He's playing 3rd today for Fremont. Banks, the 2-0. is just barely in there for a strike, painting the picture. Banks with a great pitch to get back in the count. That was a big pitch. The difference between, Banks being down in that count 3-0 and now this 2-1 that's turned to a 2-2. That's a really pivotal pitch in this at-bat, the one he just painted 2 pitches ago. Banks out there looking good, 2-2 with 2 outs. That one's high and outside.
Three-two count with 2 outs.
Time is called at the dish. So again, it's Cale Dunn behind the plate now, as Wolfgram was removed for the shoulder injury. The payoff is shot up the middle, and that's the first base hit today against Banks, and the first man on. As went down in that count, 2-0, fought back, made it full, and then a good piece of hitting. And that brings up Fremont and their pitcher, Hayden Hudman. So Hudman against Hudson with a runner on first. Banks delivers. Strike 1. Banks is not a guy you'll see people run on often. The first game out against Syracuse, he had that pickoff. And then also just the natural advantage of being a lefty. He can stare right at you and, not hide it. Banks, he's going to check on him. Back in safely. Banks also isn't scared to check on you, 3 or 4 times in a single at-bat. That's something that kind of annoys opposing players a little bit, but it works for him, and it's caused a lot of bit of success as the 0-1 is turned into an 0-2. And the 0-2 fouled back weakly. The count remains 0-2. Banks looking at first. Kicks, delivers, and strike 3. So 3 strikeouts for Banks through 2. 1 hit allowed, but ultimately he gets the man that's important. And Banks will head into, and the Vikings will head into the bottom of the second inning with a 1-0 lead. And the heart of the lineup coming up. It's Gabe McCoy, Slater Scout, and Mason Henry next on PGSN. Hudman back on the mound, for the Wolfpack. So lefty on lefty for Pleasant Grove today. Coming up first will be Gabe McCoy, playing in center today. Through the first 2 games this season, that's all we have stats for so far. McCoy batting .286 with a .571 slug. As he will come up to lead off the inning for Pleasant Grove, looking to have another strong one, just like they did last time. Got 2 runners on. And the RBI by Baxter brought in Wolfgram, who has since exited the game. I think it's got to be a shoulder injury for, as he was sliding into home or into second. More pressing matter for Pleasant Grove right now is McCoy at the dish. As the first delivery is high for a ball. And the 1-0 Cut on and missed. High fastball. Gabe wanted it. Went after it. Could not make a connection.
Okay, wait. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, but it's above the waist at the ball, right?
It's a little ticky-tacky. It's kind of the in between the knees and the waist. And at high school, the zone is bigger, so usually it's kind of the knees. It's the knees to kind of in between the waist and the shoulders is the height. So they're given a little, as McCoy pops that one out of play, they're given a little bit of a wider strike zone in high school too.
Yeah.
So a 2-2 for McCoy. As that one's grounded straight to third, fielded cleanly. The throw is clean, and Gabe McCoy down 5-3. And that brings up Slater Scow, a right-hand hitter for Pleasant Grove, with nobody on and one out here in the bottom of the second inning.
And it's a bunt.
That's something Pleasant Grove will do a lot. He is out. A great play and a great pick by Fremont. As the ground out.
It's almost whoa. So dude, it was almost a good bunt, but barely out.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove's not shy. They'll bunt. If it's going to get them on, it's going to get them on. Anything to bring them success. And what's kind of been successful throughout the season was not successful that time. Mason Henry now at the dish.
1-out count with 2 outs.
I think you might be a little shocked when I say this, but the sophomore right-hand hitter for Pleasant Grove. Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
As Henry lines that in between short and third, and that's going to be a base hit. So a 2-out single for Pleasant Grove.
Is he the only sophomore on the team?
No, there are plenty of sophomores here. Got a lot of different age ranges for Pleasant Grove. But Noah Brady, the junior. Yeah, he's not a guy who you look at him and you think sophomore, but
Little bro's like, what?
6 foot and a lot.
Yeah.
As Brady takes that pitch low and outside. This is the first time I've seen Brady all season. I don't think this is his first appearance, but first time he's decided to show himself to me. The right-hander with Mason on. Takes a nice curveball for strike one. 1-1 count. That was just a beautiful pitch by Hudman. Low and outside for the 1-1. Makes it 1-2. 2-1, excuse me. Two one with 2 outs. Brady takes a low fastball for strike 2. So we got a count knotted up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Henry on first. And the Vikings up 1-0 here. Rex Harward on deck. 2-2 is low. Count moves full. We're going to have a payoff pitch incoming. And the payoff pitch is grounded to short, fielded cleanly. They're going to go to first, and it's caught. Mason and Henry had a good jump. You got to run in that situation, so didn't have the opportunity to just flip it to second and get the easy out, but the cross diamond throw ends the inning for Pleasant Grove. And Hudson Banks comes out for his 3rd inning of work. He's through 3 scoreless so far. See what happens next for him and the Vikings. The three members of the Fremont squad coming up this inning, 8, 9, and 1. It's Tyson Grieve, Jace Hadley, and Karsten Jamison will turn the lineup over as the third batter of this inning. Banks, again, in his third inning of work, Cale Dunn has swapped out for Wolfgram behind the dish. Got a clean first inning of work. And Banks coming out for his third. 7 batters faced so far, 1 hit allowed, 2 strikeouts. And the first pitch of this third inning is fouled straight back towards us. Did you flinch?
No. Definitely not, nah.
If it makes you feel better, that's not the worst one you'll see today.
Shut up.
The 0-1. The 0-1 for Banks. Curveball didn't drop enough. 1-1. As it's Tyson Grieve at the dish, the DH for Fremont. Dunn sets up inside. Pitch goes outside. 2-1.
One count. 0 outs.
Banks delivers.
Strike.
Strike 2. Count moves to 2-2. Sometimes our friends upstairs are a little behind on the scoreboard. Have a lot more to do than just the scoreboard, though. As the 2-2 fouled off into the netting on the right-hand side. Count stays 2-2. We'll do it again. I don't know why Dunn barehanded that. He has a glove. But Henry sent one back at him. Banks shakes one off. Now the 2-2. Caught on and missed. Great movement. Got him chasing way outside as Banks gets his third punch out of the game. And that brings up the final batter of this Fremont order. Jace Hadley coming up.
And like what I've said before, though, like this is a new experience for me, especially because it's like my second time commentating, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've commentated for volleyball and now this. But like, it's different. Like baseball, I have almost no idea what I'm talking about. That's why I'm quiet. And volleyball, I kind of knew the rules, but not really. Like we both kind of didn't really know the rules. But like, when it's basketball,
that's all you.
That's all me, bro. I know everything about basketball.
So as you said, volleyball tomorrow night. Volleyball takes on Skyridge here at home. We will have coverage for you guys on PGSN at about 6:30. Tune in to watch the Vikings men's volleyball team, who took their first loss of the season yesterday. They're 13-1 in the hands of the Westlake Thunder.
13-1 is crazy, though.
Banks' 2-1 is outside. The count moves 3-1. Maybe it's because I was just thinking it. I guess I'll say it after this pitch. The 3-1 is grounded to short. It's going to be a tough throw for Baxter, who makes it. What a throw by Jacob Baxter. He came from the back to the front of the infield and delivered a strike on the run to Mason Henry to punch out the final hitter of Fremont's order, and that will turn it over.
That was a tough throw, but he made it look easy. That was an amazing throw.
Karsten Jamison coming up for his second at-bat.
It's cold.
Banks is first. Hits the dirt, 1-0. Yeah, Jamison is one of a couple Fremont players who has the hoodie on under the jersey. As Banks' second one is low as well. 2-0 moves the count.
Hoodie under the jersey, that was probably smart.
I don't see a ton of guys for Pleasant Grove who are in the game who have that. It's not something you will commonly see. They do all have undershirts on, and most of them have got the long sleeves. As Banks drops one in, move the count to 2-0. Mason Henry's a little psychopath at first base, and just the clean short sleeve.
He don't get cold, bro.
That pitch is fouled out of play down the right field line, 2-2. I guess it wasn't out of play, it was just foul.
Dude, it was actually warm weather earlier. Now I'm cold.
Not doing you any favors here.
I'm shivering.
Banks with the 2-2.
It's
Grounded to first. Henry's going to play it himself and take it to the bag himself. So 1, 2, 3 in the top of this third inning, and that does it for 3 innings of work for Banks. 3 innings, 10 batters faced, 1 hit allowed, 3 strikeouts, and the Vikings head into the bottom of the third with a 1-0 lead over Fremont. So for the Vikings, it'll be Rex Harward deleted off, R.J. Wilson, and then Drew Smith. If any of those guys get on, or even if they don't, it's going to be interesting to see if we see Wolfgram come up to strictly bat or if he'll remain out of the game. Banks has got the jacket on. Can't imagine he's done for the day. Probably just a little cold. As Harward takes pitch 1.
It probably is cold, bro. It's like 10 degrees out here, bro.
Dugout's a little warmer. They haven't installed the heaters on it yet.
It's cold.
But the 1-0 is smacked by Harward. It's going to stay fair. So kind of a little bit of a pitch that he probably wanted to go foul, but I wouldn't sneak past the first baseman, and Harward goes down on the second pitch of this inning. So that brings up R.J. Wilson for his second at-bat of today's game. He led Pleasant Grove off with a strikeout to open it up. As he takes that pitch high and inside. 1-0. As mentioned earlier, Drew Smith on deck. The 1-0 for Wilson is high. Count stays 2-0. So Wolfgram is all ready to hit. So it looks like he's going to remain in the game as a hitter. As it looks like it's that left shoulder that Slater Scow. As that one drops to a 2-1. That Slater Scow was kind of massaging a little bit. So that might be the issue for Wolfgram. They don't want him catching with that hand, but they'll have him swing the bat. If it's anything like his first at bat, he won't have to swing.
That's crazy.
The 2-1, RJ pops it up. I lost it. Players lost it. As it went into the softball field.
It went up and it was gone, and I could not find it.
Yeah, the sky has decided to camouflage any ball that pops up there today. We'll see if that's an issue with any fielders. Hasn't been a lot of contact past the infield for either team today. And the 2-2, Wilson fouls it back. It's going to stay in play, and now it drifts out of play.
Hey, I didn't lose the ball that time.
Fremont had a couple guys chasing after it. So RJ's going to do this 2-2 one more time. A 2-2 for number 2. As Hudman on the mound. The southpaw delivers, and it hits him. And he is quickly in a little bit of pain. I think luckily for him, that was a little bit of a curveball, so it was hopefully a little softer, but still.
It's still a baseball.
Not nice at all.
No matter what throw it is, it's still gonna kill if it hits you.
So that brings up Drew Smith, who flew out his first time out. He's up here for his second at-bat. The Westlake transfer has had a huge impact on this Pleasant Grove team in just, a couple games so far this season. He's been a big addition as the count moves 0-1, and someone who's always smiling and always fun in the dugout and in the clubhouse. Drew's been a lot of fun to get to know a little better. RJ dances off first. Smith pops it up and out of play down the first base line.
That makes the count 0-2 with 1 out, and I completely lost that ball once it got hit.
Clearer skies are a little better for you, especially because it would be sunnier. You'd probably be a little warmer.
Yeah, I'm cold.
You guys can't see him. You might be able to, but he's kind of hunkered down. He's shivering.
I'm cold.
As Smith pokes that into left field, unfortunately right to the fielder. Good piece of hitting from Drew Smith, but his second fly out of the game. That brings up Tua Wolfgram. His first at-bat, Wolfgram walked and then eventually scored a run for Pleasant Grove. So he has that that hurt shoulder, mixing up the letters. That took him out defensively, but he's still gonna bat.
Let's see if that hurt shoulder affects him in any way. I doubt it though.
So Wilson on first with 2 outs. We'll see if he takes off at any point during this at bat. I'm not sure he will until maybe you get to 2 strikes. If you get to 2 strikes. As Hudman, they're going to check on Wilson. He's quickly back. So the first pitch of Wolfgram's at-bat hits the dirt. Wilson stays put. It's not dirt anymore for Pleasant Grove. They changed it, so now it's mostly turf. Makes a little less raking for the Vikings.
And from my understanding, turf sucks to slide on.
The 1-0, high and outside. Looks like they might have been expecting Wilson to go there and wanted him to, fall right into their trap with the high fastball. The catcher ready to deliver to second. Wilson stayed put, and now the 2-0. He cuts and misses.
Brings the count to 2-1.
Well, even that pitch was a little bit outside. You have to feel like they might be pitching around the BYU commit a little bit. The 2-1 for Wolfgram is fouled back. So now that you're at 2 strikes, it's going to be interesting to see if you do have Wilson take off from first, or if he stays put and tries to let Wolfgram go to work. Does take off, it would be probably this pitch. He stays put. Wolfgram takes a high fastball, count moves full. So now he is going to take off regardless. As he's released. Full count, 2 outs. Wolfgram at the dish, looking to do some damage. As the delivery is fouled down the left field line and out of play. That was a 50-50 pitch if Wolfgram chose to take it. Took matters into his own hand and just fouled it off and said, let's do it one more time. So Hudman's going to have to pay it off. And the payoff pitch is cut on and missed, strike 3. Wolfgram goes down swinging, and that brings out Hudson Banks for his 4th inning of work in the top of the 4th. He's ready with Cale Dunn behind the plate. We'll be back here on PGSN. as we head into the top of the 4th inning, it's now Deegan Thane behind the plate, replacing Cale Dunn after he was hit for by Wolfgram. Banks in the order. 2, 3, and 4 will face Brig Grange, Logan Penland, and Tony Marzio. The catcher, shortstop, and left fielder for Fremont. He's through 3 scoreless, looking for his 4th. I'm gonna leave this one up to you, Zane. This half of the inning is all up to you. Not completely. I'm not gonna completely hang you out the dry.
Don't kill me like that, bro.
Good luck.
Well, hi guys. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. This is kind of awkward. I'm just looking at Alan.
Introduce yourself a little more. Kind of let him know.
Yourself. So my name's Zane Grothy. I'm going into sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sophomore this year.
So you're currently a freshman.
I'm currently a freshman, sadly. And once I enter sophomore, it's gonna feel like I'm a Sevy all over again.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be fun. But Banks with a pitch, strike 1. Brings the count to 0-1.
He's done a great job of painting those outside corners and kind of keeping everything outside, not giving anybody middle. And that's kind of what's led to him.
Strike 2.
It's kind of what's led to Banks not having a walk yet today, something he struggled with his first time out. Hopefully I didn't just jinx you, Hudson, but...
Banks with the pitch. Strike 3. Strikeout.
You called it before that got to Thane's glove. Hudson Banks with just a 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out. His 4th of the ball game so far. And that brings up the shortstop.
Bro, I just know the future. Like, what do I don't know what to say, bro. I just know the future.
You should be out there umpiring is what you're saying.
Sure. Whatever you say, Alan.
So brand new count for Banks as he spikes the first one in the dirt, 1-0. So Henry's now in left field. Wolfgram's at first. I just noticed this. Wolfgram's at first. Henry's now at left field. So it looks like Deegan's going to stay in the game at catcher for the rest of the game. As ball number 2 taken. I'm trying to see who they moved out. The infield is still the same, and I have bad eyesight, so I can't see who's out there besides Mason because he's 6 foot on a lot. Count moves 3-0. You can tell Slater's still in right.
Strike 1. Brings the count to 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 with 1 out.
I need Banks to deliver here because if he doesn't, he's going to get mad at me for jinxing him into a walk.
Strike 2.
It's all you at this point, Hudson. If you come back and watch this, it's not my fault if you walk this guy.
He'll still blame you. He'll find a way to blame you.
Banks in the payoff pitch. I am so sorry, Hudson. His first walk of the day. Gets through 3 1/3 without one. As I mentioned earlier, something that plagued him his first time out, but he's done a good job today of not getting into those situations, and when he has, he's done a good job.
All right, so we just found out that Alan's the best at jinxing people.
We figured that out during basketball season.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't there for, like, any of the basketball games, except the last game.
As checking on the runner at first, and he's back safe. I think it's Rex Harward that got taken out of the lineup to bring Tua back into the field. Great movement on the curveball for Banks.
This umpire's blocking my way.
Did he go?
Oh.
Yes, he did. So the count is 0-2 now. Deegan with a good block. Keeping the ball at a manageable.
Buddy, did you say 0-2?
It is 0-2. The scoreboard's wrong. Believe me, it's 0-2.
Oh.
And now it's 0-3. Strike 3. Banks punches him out. 1, 2, 3 strikes for the second time this inning. He gets his 5th strikeout.
You know, for my first time commentating baseball, they are not keeping up the scoreboard, and it's messing me up.
You got to keep that in the back of your head. So it's now Wolfgram that Banks is throwing to over at first, with Henry moving to left field. So I think that's interesting because Wolfgram played in the outfield last season. It's an interesting decision to keep move Mason out there and keep Wolfgram at first. Probably to try and help his arm, not make him make those throws.
That was really scary for a second because I zoned out. The net looked like it was 2 feet away from me, or like 2 centimeters from me. That was really scary.
Check on him. That one was close, but back safely.
Called a time.
It's Garrett Jones at the plate now. He skies that one. Smith running back.
He's out.
And running from center, it's Gabe McCoy to make the catch. So Banks works around a walk and heads into the bottom of the 4th inning. Vikings hold the 1-0 lead they've been holding since the bottom of the 1st on the Jacob Baxter RBI. That brought Wolfgram in for Fremont. Checking to see if they're keeping... He's had a pretty good outing so far. Besides that first inning, they do keep Hayden Hudman on the mound, so he'll come out for his 4th inning of work next on PGSN. So Hudman out for his 4th inning of work. Jacob Baxter will lead it off. Gabe McCoy and then Slater Scow, the 3 Vikings scheduled to come up here. You're not going to give GK that chair?
I don't know. GK, do you deserve it?
Yeah, I do.
Strong feelings.
I don't know, bro.
Stupid question is what I got told for that. Baxter takes pitch outside, 1-0. The righty Baxter pops that one up into center field. It's going to stay in the infield, caught basically on second base. And Baxter with his first out of this game. Here in the bottom of the 4th, Gabe McCoy comes up now. So Gabe McCoy now with nobody on, 1 out. Takes strike 1. Grounded out his first time up. Curveball doesn't drop quite enough. McCoy takes a pitch in the dirt. Count moves 3-0. Good position here. Likely a take pitch, but with the way that Pleasant Grove plays, you never know. He could try and hammer this one. Excuse me, it's 2-1. As McCoy hammers that in between first and second, a base hit. So Gabe McCoy with his first hit of this ball game, a single to shallow right field. And that will bring up Slater Scow. As I expect to see Gabe McCoy try and get into scoring position here. Here's Scow. Takes pitch outside for strike one.
GK next to me being a goofy goober.
Goofy goober.
Goofy goober.
I don't know what brought him out of the dugout today. Because that pitch is inside for ball one. Last time he came out because he wanted the chair next to me, but that one wasn't open today, so.
Yeah, now he wants my chair. GK.
Aren't you a freshman?
No.
Aren't you a freshman? The 2-1. Excuse me, the 1-1 is both low and outside.
I'm a senior.
That was a great take pitch by Slater. It's one that was in the zone basically until the last second. McCoy's been sticking very close to first base. The corner for the Vikings football team earlier this year, and now the center fielder. Scow takes a high fastball for strike two.
Count 2-2. 1 out? Yeah, 1 out.
You trying to scam someone out of a chair still?
Yeah, he wants that chair, dude.
He wants that chair. The 2-2. Scow fouls this one.
Is it? Yep.
Fouls this one off to stay alive. Stayed in play, but went foul. Mason Henry, I think he's itching to get up to that plate. He was ready. And Slater is his bat back. And we'll do the 2-2 one more time. Scow, the 2-2. Low and outside. Count moves full. Payoff pitch. Coming up next. Scow ready to receive the payoff from Hudman. And he grounds it to third. There's 5, 4, and too late to 3. So just a fielder's choice for Scow.
Come on, son. Come on.
So continues to be a runner on first for Pleasant Grove. As Gabe McCoy gets out a second on the fielder's choice by Slater Scow. Mason Henry up to bat now. His second at-bat of today's game. He singled his first one up. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball one. And it's a good block by the catcher as the runner stays put. The 1-0. Brought back in for a strike. I don't think the Pleasant Grove dugout liked that one very much, but something they'll focus on a lot this year is hammering those outside pitches. I think it was a little too far outside for Mason to try and go after. 2 outs, the 1-1. Outside once again, brought back in. 1-2. Henry's nodding his head. I think he's kind of challenging Hudman to throw that one more time and see what I do with it. Scow at first. 1-2. Scow went. The throw is not in time. It's dropped by the second baseman. So a stolen base for Slater Scout, and now there's a runner in scoring position. As now
2-2 count. Yeah, 2-2 count, 2 outs.
Henry takes a pitch in the dirt. Count moves full. We're going to have a payoff pitch coming in with a runner in scoring position. First base is open. Don't think you want to put anyone up there. A payoff pitch coming into Henry. Hudman delivers. In the dirt, so Henry walks. After going down 1-2 in the count. Takes first base, and that brings up Noah Brady. A right-hand hitter for Pleasant Grove. He's going to have a talk with Coach Henry before he takes his at-bat. Deegan Thane on deck, who's now in the catch for Pleasant Grove.
Why is Henry so tall? He's like...
Which Henry?
The first baseman. He's like 6'8".
He's a baseball body. So with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Brady cuts and misses on the first one. Grounded out his first time up. Brady's going to have an 0-1. Nobody's holding Mason on at first. And second baseman playing close. As Brady takes strike 2. Goes down 0-2 in this count quickly. You're going to have to battle back. Slater Scout at second, Mason Henry at first. Noah Brady at the dish, the 0-2 coming in from Hudman.
Oh.
Is outside, 1-2.
You know, it was 0-2, and I was thinking, I was thinking in my head, I was like, he's gonna throw a ball, but I was like, I don't know if I want to say that. Didn't want to jinx it.
1-2. Deegan shoots that into right center field. It will be caught by the center fielder. As Brady, excuse me, I think I said Deegan. But Brady gave that one a ride, but it was Jace Hadley who camped under it, and that brings out Hudson Banks for his most important inning of work, the 5th one. As Vikings holding on to a 1-0 lead. Banks will throw to Thane next on PGSN. So Banks coming out for his 5th inning of work. Wolfgram stays at first. Pleasant Grove ready. Banks has done a great job defending the lead they gave him in the first inning. He's kind of just been playing ahead in the counts and taking advantage of what the hitters have been giving him. Only 1 hit and 1 walk. It's only 2 runners allowed. 0.5 whip so far today. Banks delivers.
Strike.
As that one's shot right directly into center field, camping under it for
He's
Pleasant
out.
Grove, and making the catch is Gabe McCoy. 1 pitch, 1 out for Hudson Banks.
Dude, I just know everything before it touches the guy's glove. Like, I know the future.
Up now is the pitcher, Hayden Hudman.
That's the pitcher?
The left-handed hitter, also the left-handed pitcher. Caught on and missed by Hudman. Banks just working in the strike zone so far his last couple of pitches. Not scared to challenge the hitters as he kind of drifts towards the bottom of this Fremont order. The 0-1. Caught on and missed. Amazing, amazing movement on that pitch by Banks. Really, really good top to bottom. Now the 0-2. Caught on and missed, strike 3. So 4 pitches, 2 outs, and a strikeout for Banks. That's his 6th of the day today. And that brings out Tyson Grieve, the 17th batter that Banks has faced today. He's only allowed 2 of them on. Banks delivers high pitch, high fastball, and the 1-0.
Cautious, ready? Strike. Oh, never mind.
1-0 just too far inside. It started as a strike and then moved back off the plate. That's something it's been very, very promising so far from Banks today to see the movement that he's shown. Now he drops one in for a strike. 2-1.
I'm predicting the future right now. Strike, right here.
We're going strike. We'll see where Banks goes
Ready?
with this pitch.
3, 2, 1.
2-1. It's just a little low.
Sorry for jinxing that.
Moves into a 3-1.
My bad.
Now the 3-1 by Banks. Caught on and missed. Count moves full. Payoff pitch here in the top of the 5th inning.
Leave him looking, Hud. Leave him looking.
Banks with the payoff. It's fouled back and out of play. So we'll do it one more time. The payoff for Banks. Strike 3. Hudson Banks electric off the mound. Banks has some of the biggest feet that I have ever seen. Size 14.5. And that really correlates to a lot of different things. His stride length, large hands. Banks has a big body out there. But through 5 scoreless with 7 strikeouts. As Banks fights back, it's going to stay Hudman on the mound for Fremont. Hudson has been electric today, both on and off the mound. We move into the bottom of the 5th for the Vikings. Deegan Thane comes out for his first at-bat of today's game. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Thane, the right-hand hitter. So welcome on a special guest, GK Jared. Sorry for some of the things that he may say. That's the kind of guy GK is.
I'm not going to say anything bad.
Deegan rips one to left field. That ball is high and caught at the track.
That was a good hit by Chili Dog.
Coach Henry knows that one was given a ride. He's pointing at Deegan.
Good hit.
He took one hit and he took that ball far.
RJ Wilson up to bat next. Best walk-up song out of the team, I think.
They played about 2 seconds of it, but
It's still great.
I'd have to agree with you.
There's the first strike.
So Hudman has had, we've talked a lot about Banks and his performance. Hudman's had one that's maybe about as close as you can get. He's allowed a couple scattered hits as Wilson pulls that one down the right field line foul. He's had a couple scattered hits, allowing only just 2 hits on the day, and then it was just that 1 run in the first inning after that Wolfgram walk. He is facing a dangerous part of the Vikings order, and for the 3rd time today, this is when you usually see pitchers' numbers dip. So we'll see how he combats facing Wilson, Smith, and Wolfgram, 1, 2, 3 here. After Deegan kind of gave him a tough at-bat. Wilson pops that one down the left field line. I think that's a pitch that RJ is going to want back.
Yeah, he would want that back.
He keeps the at-bat alive. He struck out his first time up and was hit by a pitch his second time. Hudman deals outside. So the count moves 1 and 2 for RJ. Hudman deals, and that one hits him again.
Hit again.
Wilson is not happy.
He's furious about that one. Wow.
You can only imagine what he was yelling.
Humpty Dumpty over there.
Who?
I'm just kidding. That's what they joked about in St. George. Whenever a player got hit, they sang Humpty Dumpty every time. I don't know why. They just did.
RJ is going to have a serenade after this game if they try and do that again.
Oh, yeah.
Second time getting hit.
Pissed. Yep.
And that brings up Drew Smith with a runner on.
Drew has been a big part of this team lately.
You were in the dugout when he came up in the 4th inning. I've said, I think, exactly that, like word for word. He has been huge for Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, he's been huge. Like, inside the team, too, being with them in St. George this last weekend. He's been putting a great attitude in this team and everything.
That pitch is outside, but brought back in for a strike. Were you listening to the stream? Because I'm pretty sure you just copied exactly what I said earlier in the inning, earlier in the game, that is. But Drew has really been really fun, as they'll check on RJ at first. See Hudman, it looks like there's a man up in Fremont's bullpen. As strike 2, Smith swings in, or they're going to say he fouled it back, but regardless, strike 2. We talked about volleyball a little earlier. If you're not interested in volleyball, we do have another baseball stream for you guys on Friday as the Vikings take on the Weber Warriors. As I'll get the mascot right the entire game this time, even though for football I got it right for about a quarter. The Weber Warriors, Vikings will start play at around 3:30 p.m. here at 4 o'clock is the signal I'm getting. Could have just said that, just by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
But
yeah.
4 o'clock. Actually, thank you for trying not to upstage me. I'll give you your credit. 4 o'clock for Pleasant Grove and Weber as that one's hit into deep left center field. Drew, another one that's given a ride and just dies on the track. So the second out of the inning for Pleasant Grove and the second pitch that has been taken way, way deep. And that is, Wolfram is not a guy you can give the opportunity to take that ball for a ride because more often than not, he'll send that one over the fence.
Yeah. Nash says hi to you guys. Nash Clement here. He's the best on the team, I think, so far on this season.
Wolfgram takes that curveball outside.
Sound contract.
Wolfgram at the plate with Wilson on first after he got hit by a pitch. Wolfgram sends that one deep to left field. We're going to see if it's another instance. And 3 times balls were taken for a ride, and 3 times they died at the track. I really wanted to call that home run.
Yeah, I know, I did too. But now I have to give up the mic.
So
let me do this one. Let me do this one because it's Hudson.
you want to call
I
Banksy?
want to call it Banks. Yeah.
After 5, we won't step away in
Then
between
I'll-
these
Yeah.
innings. Bottom of the 5th for Pleasant Grove. 3 balls given a ride, and 3 balls that just died short of the track. Man, oh man, though. You got to expect, can you please stop? You got to expect that that's got to be kind of the day for Hudman, that we won't see him come out.
Wait, can they hear that?
Yes, I think
Oh.
so.
I'm sorry, guys. Chili dog. That's what they call him in the dugout. Deegan. Man,
So, Banks,
Go on.
Banks
Sorry.
is still working to protect this 1-0 lead he's had since the first inning. But Pleasant Grove's offense hasn't put a run on the board since then. Banks has been kind of shut down.
Oh.
So Drew Smith is going to stay in the game at second. So Hudson in here in his 6th inning of work, facing his 18th batter. So the 9-hitter for Fremont. It's Jace Hadley, the center fielder. Banks, the southpaw, deals. Just too low, 1-0. Banks with the 1-0. Wolfgram and Wilson both playing in. 1-1 now. They're not quite on the grass, but pretty close in the corners here. Oh, and 1. Excuse me, 1-1 now moves 2-1.
Do you think he'll close this out going into the 7th, or do you think they'll bring in one more guy?
I think it just depends with how close the lead is as Banks. That one's grounded weakly to third. Wilson fields. Wilson throws. Wolfgram fields as Banks gets his first out of this 6th inning. I think they'll keep him in as long as he's dominant, but I think,
Yes, I think so.
if you have a guy get on, especially if you get a guy in scoring position, just with how close this lead is, you'll have to.
I think their reliever is Austin Conley. I'm pretty sure. I'm not.
Is he out in the pen?
Not yet. No.
I don't have a great look.
No. I don't think so.
Fremont does have someone out in the pen as Banks starts the pitch outside, 1-0. Banks, the 1-0. Just low, 2-0. It seems like he's been searching for that spot all game, and he hasn't quite gotten it. So now a 2-0 for Banks. Is grounded weakly to first and foul.
Foul ball. I heard the ump say foul ball, so I think it's foul ball.
2-1. It's the top of the order for the Silver Wolves up now. 3rd time Banks has faced them as well. Again, we're in a very, very close game. It may not,
Very close.
Seeing
It's
this, it
only
feels
1-0.
like Pleasant Grove's kind of been dominating the entire time, but just one run separates these two. It's Deegan with a good pick out of the dirt. Both teams looking to snap 3-game skids. Both teams picked to finish pretty highly in their divisions. Fremont has to play Riverton in region play as that pitch is fouled back. Do I have to ask?
No.
Did you jump?
No.
He jumped, guys.
I was like way left too. That's funny.
So the payoff pitch for Banks is fouled back and out of play.
Uppity.
Down, down, down.
Down.
So Banks still working as the payoff is fouled back one more time.
Uppity. Down.
Down, down, down.
Man, I wish you went to St. George with us, man. Commentated, shoot. Would have been nice.
Had some March Madness games to go to there. Banks delivers, and that one is too far outside. His second walk he's issued today. So now a runner on for Fremont. And it's the leadoff hitter, Carson Jamison, who's on first. Brig Grange, the catcher.
Man, the catcher has some nice shoes. My bad. Sneakers. Cleats. Jordans.
I'll check on the runner at first. He's back in. They are cleats, but they do look, they're really, really clean.
Yeah, they're nice. Really nice.
Who do you think? You've been in the dugout way more than I have. Who do you think has the best shoe game on the team for the Vikings?
Oh, man.
Did you flinch?
No, I didn't flinch, guys.
He flinched, guys.
No. I would say, I don't even know. Today, I would say Jacob Baxter.
That pitch is inside. I'd have to agree with you. I was going to say exactly that. He's playing short, by the way, if you're looking for him.
Oh. I was thinking we were batting. I don't know why. It's wild. But, yeah, he has some nice, bright colored shoes on over there.
As they check on the runner at first one more time.
Who would you say?
I would say Jacob Baxter. At least I know they switch him up a little bit, but.
Yeah. He even said in the dugout to me, you better get a video of my cleats today.
As they'll check again on the runner. Yeah, GK Jared, for those who don't know, Pleasant Grove Baseball's videographer. A lot of nice highlights. Plug your page really quick.
What?
Plug your page.
It's GKJ Films, or .films with a Z. Or you can check me out on the Pleasant Grove baseball team's page too. I'm on there too.
Yeah, collab posts with GK and the baseball team. Some clean edits after every game.
Thank you.
You'll have one after today's game?
Yeah.
You have to
early in the morning,
expect it. Banks delivers. That one's shot to second. Here's Baxter over to Smith. Smith, jump throw. Not quite in time. Fielder's choice. As Wolfgram made a good dive to keep that one from going past him.
Hey, can we talk about how Tua almost ran, or stole second and third almost?
Yeah, we talked about when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it when it
Oh,
happened.
did you talk about it? Was that really? No, it was the exit. What is?
Banks will check on the runner at first. So runner on first as the sun kind of creeps out.
Feels good.
Yeah, here in the top of the sixth, Banks deals high and outside. Looks like they're going to stick with Banks throughout the rest of this inning.
Yeah.
We'll see where they go in the top of the seventh. Banks delivers. Beautiful, beautiful pitch.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You've really seen his command through the first, 5 innings or so. He's kind of lost it just a little bit here in the sixth, but that's probably just due to arm fatigue. His command has been so good today. Runner goes. Spiked in the dirt. He's going to be in safely. We talked about cleat game. I think one part of baseball that's kind of underappreciated is the glove game.
Yes,
Can we talk about how Deegan Thane has the best glove out of anyone?
Oh, yeah.
The ice cream glove?
The ice cream glove is odd.
It's so clean.
It's the best. Banks is at 87 pitches.
87 pitches for Hudson Banks. Dang.
87 pitches today, and the highest speed he has gone is 85.
Banks still working up there. Doing a great job here on the mound so far today. Now he's in a little bit of trouble with the runner in scoring position. As that pitch is fouled back. So 2 strikes here.
2-2.
So that was his 88th, correct?
Yes.
So Banks cut on and missed. He gets the strikeout. Now he gets the strikeout.
Awesome.
His 8th of the day through 6. Banks with a very, very good showing as the Vikings come in the bottom of the 6th with a 1-0 lead. I think that's probably it for Banks today.
I'm going to go in there and see, but
Just send me a little text.
I'll send you a little text.
So we'll get the insider GK Jared coming out here,
Yep.
but the commentating GK Jared signing off
Signing off.
for today. As the Vikings have a 1-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back on PGSN. The new pitcher in the game for Fremont is Brant Coford. Here for the bottom of the 6th inning, he's going to face Jacob Baxter, then Gabe McCoy, and then Slater Scow. As Baxter coming up for the 3rd time, he has a single and a fly out today. And of course, the cleanest kicks on the team. Quick mound visit to get the new pitcher, Coford, kind of settled in. He's been playing 3rd throughout this whole game. Replacing him is, I believe, Canyon Pratt in the field. It might have been a little more shifting around, but pitch is dropped in for strike 1. Because it may be Tyson Grieve out there, or it may be Canyon Pratt. As Baxter grounds that one weakly. Tough play, and he fumbles it. Baxter reaches on the fielding error by the pitcher. Or he's credited a hit. So an infield single for Jacob Baxter. Gives him his 2nd hit of today's game.
Bro, I cannot tell you how happy I am for the sun to be out right now.
You feeling a little better?
I was so cold earlier. And hopefully my dad's not watching this so he doesn't call me a wuss. But Dad, if you are watching this, it was like 10 degrees
Text him
out
and call him a wuss. That's all I'm saying.
No, don't. But it was like 10 degrees out here, so.
Gabe McCoy takes strike 1. So Baxter, that was like a swinging bunt infield single, but whatever way you can get on first, he's on first now. So Slater Scow is on deck. Jacob Baxter on first, and then Slater Scow, Gabe McCoy batting. Runner goes, and Baxter is going to take second base easily. McCoy showed bunt, and the pitch went over his head. And then couldn't be grabbed by the catcher, and that gave Baxter second base. So McCoy with the 1-1. Showed bunt last time, now with the runner in scoring position. We'll see if he swings. He does, pops it up to right center field, and it will be nabbed by the right fielder. Baxter gave a little bit of a jump, but is going to stay at second. So now Slater Scow with 1 out, 1 man on. Mason Henry on deck. we'll likely see him unless a unusual double play occurs. Nothing to Scal. Strike one. Slater over the season, through 3 games that we have stats for,
Strike.
is batting .222 with a .222 on base percentage, so 2 hits and 9 at-bats. Looking at 2 singles.
That pitch right there made it an 0-2 count.
Scal fouls that one back. Slater Scal taking another 0-2 after he fouled the last one off. Drills that one to left field, but straight to the fielder. So Pleasant Grove with some good contact so far today. Just a low batting average on balls in play. A lot of them hit to that left fielder there. And that brings up Mason Henry with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. Those Pleasant Grove's got to be upset with, the contact they've had and the lack of results. No bad piece of hitting for Pleasant Grove yet. Mason Henry drills that, and it takes an awkward bounce, still picked by the shortstop, and that's going to keep Baxter from going home. But it took a weird bounce on the edge of the infield in between the grass and the dirt. Baxter advanced to third. Mason gets to first on the single. His second of the day. And that brings up Brady in a big situation here. It's Noah Brady. So Mason Henry so far today. 3 plate appearances, 2 singles, and a walk. As that one's popped up to right field. Making a long run, making a diving catch. Oh, he did not catch it in foul territory. That was a really, really difficult play. And one that was just not quite made by Fremont specifically. That was Brady Penland, who's new in the game. You have to assume he's the brother of Logan Penland. I think he's kind of the man who ended up getting put in to bring in the new pitcher. Deegan Thane on deck. He's got kind of a whole ice cream themed set. His elbow guard is ice cream themed as Brady fouls that one back off the right, down the right field line. Insider GK Jared telling us that Austin Connolly is in the bullpen. Not sure if we should expect him to come in here in the 7th inning or if he'll kind of stay out and just ready. But he is getting ready. The 0-2. Low and outside. Baxter was going. I don't know if he was trying to steal home or if he thought the pitch got away. But Baxter had a full head of steam there. Can't imagine he was trying to steal home.
Doubt it.
That one's grounded to third. Back pick. The throw across the diamond. And the throw is made. So it stays 1-0 here in what could be the final inning. It is Banks who walks out to take the mound. It's Pleasant Grove 1, Fremont 0. You have to expect it'll have a short leash, but we'll see in the top of the 7th inning here on PGSN. So Banks comes out here in the top of the 7th inning. Austin Connolly is warm in the bullpen, likely ready if Banks lets anyone on base in just such a tight game, even though Banks has pitched really, really well. 1 hit, 2 walks is always given out.
I was talking to Alan when our mics were off, but I'm thinking about getting MLB just to get better, just to destroy you, because you always say you're good.
You've never beaten me. GK has beaten me once.
GK has?
That's all. I'm like 7-1.
Just wait.
So it's called a fluke. That's called a fluke there.
Just wait. Once I am not broke freshman boy.
You're not broke freshman boy?
Once I get money, I'll buy it. Clap you. Trust. Mark my words right now.
Mark. Okay.
Mark my words.
We'll see.
That's when I'm not a broke freshman.
Well, the 22nd batter of the day against Banks, here to lead off the 7th inning. As it's grounded weakly to first, it's going to go foul. It's Tony Marzial, his 3rd time up, the cleanup hitter.
Dude, why can't the weather be like this 7 innings ago?
It is. It is perfect baseball weather, to say the least. Very, very little wind. What is going from left field to right field. Coming in a little bit. As that is a beautiful pitch dropped in there for a strike. Banks has had that pitch ready and waiting all day today. He's thrown it a couple times, and it's been very successful every time he's gone for it. As lying out on the first base line and staying fair, making a long run to get it for Pleasant Grove's the right fielder. It's a leadoff double for Marzial and Fremont, and you have to expect that that is going to end Hudson's day. As time is called, Coach Henry staying in the dugout for now. They keep him in. So Banks will stay in despite giving off the leadoff double with a runner in scoring position. The only thing they're going to do is change the way the defense is aligned. And Banks is going to stay out there. He's nearing the pitch limit. He's probably about 20 pitches short of it. 110 is that pitch limit, but likely won't come in play.
Strike.
Banks delivers strike 1, just as you said.
Dude, I'm telling you.
You feel really good about yourself right now.
I am the future, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
You are the future of PGSM commentating. Banks, the 0-1. The runner on second, no outs.
Strike 2.
Say it one more time.
Strike 2.
Strike 2 for Banks, 0-2. Count now. 0-2. Banks looks to second, now looks towards home.
And strike 3.
Delivers. That's shot right back up the middle, and that is going to tie this ball game. Rounding third, coming home is Marzial, and the runner is going to stay at. No, he goes to second.
Wow.
So back-to-back hits given up by Banks. Now his day has to be over, as he gives up the first earned run of this outing, and that is going to do it for Hudson Banks on his day. Numbers aren't final. He's still responsible for the runner at second. We'll let you know when his runners are final, his final line. But just like that, today's game is tied up. Maybe they're not taking him out. It looks like he's staying in. Looks like they're going to keep Banks in. Just a mound visit from Cap. And Banks is staying in. A decision that I don't necessarily agree with. There's a reason I'm over here, but...
Yeah, I was going to see you pitch this final inning.
I think at this point he's started to lose a little bit of the zip he's had on that ball through the first six innings. And in such a dangerous situation, maybe they want to save AC and have him pitch on Friday against Weber, but Banks steps off.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that'd really be interesting to see you pitch. I'd pay to watch that.
We'll see if we can convince Coach to let me go out on the mound one time. As that one skied to right field in foul territory, the catch is made. Runner will advance from second to third safely.
Wow.
So the go-ahead run, we're in the top of the inning, but the go-ahead run at third, Banks gets the first out.
Of course, they waited till the 7th inning to get all of these.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove did their damage in the first. Fremont now doing their damage in the 7th. As Banks will face for the third time today, or excuse me, for the first time today, it's Brady Penland. So he has not seen anything from Banks so far. The infield is in, trying not to let the go-ahead run get home. Banks opens the at-bat up with a foul ball out of play. If you're Penland, all you want to do is put this ball in play. Give the runner at third a chance to come home. Even if you just send it deep, you have the chance to bring the runner home. As Penland swings and misses, and now moves 0-2.
This is low-key kind of a scary game now.
It's the damage that can be done with just 1 or 2 swings, if you string them together right. Here's Banks, the 0-2. High fastball, did he go? He did not go. Pleasant Grove's entire dugout thought he did. Some of the fans do too. The only 2 people who it matters if, the only 2 people who it matters what they think, both said he didn't go. So count goes 1-2. And that one is swung on and missed. So Banks doesn't care what happened the pitch before. He sits him down there. So now the final, or what could be the final batter of this inning, as Banks picks up his 9th strikeout. It's Tyson Grieve, the DH, up for the 3rd time.
Dump should have just called that one swing a strike because it really did not make a difference at all.
Banks delivers. That pitch is fouled straight back. The 0-1 now. Banks against Tyson Grieve. That time he went. I think it might have been a strike regardless. But an 0-2 count now for Banks. With a runner in scoring position. The 0-2 is outside. Thane couldn't bring it back in. So a 1-2 for Banks now. Delivers. Fouled weakly. You just have to get the out at first. Baxter's throw is not in time. The go-ahead run scores, and it's now a 2-1 game as the infield single. There's nothing you can change about that, as you can't go out and review it. But Grieve dove and slid and got there in time, and Henry's going to go have a talk with the umpire. He's not happy with the way he called that final play, not happy with the way he called the swing. And rightfully so, as Henry's got a bone to pick. Banks is not happy on the mound either. The umpire telling Coach Henry that's enough. He's got his hands on his hips. He's still giving him his thoughts. Coach Henry saying, you know, he missed it twice.
That was a game changer right there.
So now the Vikings playing from behind. As they check on the runner at first, he went, and he's going to steal second safely. So another runner in scoring position as Fremont's now looking to add to the lead. A lead they didn't have until there was 2 outs, and they were on their last leg.
This is a crazy game. Yeah.
Now that pitch limit starts to creep into your head if you're Pleasant Grove's coaching staff. You're going to have to pull him at some point as that pitch is lined into right field, and that'll drop. Runner comes around third, coming home. Wolfgram delivers. Not in time. He held on to it. The runner stays at first, and now it's a 3-1 game. As it looks like that is going to do it for Hudson's night after 6 2/3. Responsible for the runner at first. AC is going to come in, Austin Connolly, to try and cool down this red hot offense for Fremont. What an outing from Banks, even going into that 7th inning, and even what he faced in that 7th inning. Not getting a couple calls that he wanted. Goes 6 2/3, almost goes the distance. But now in line for a loss as he finishes with 7 runners allowed, 9 strikeouts, 7 hits and 2 walks, still responsible for the runner at first. So his run numbers could change, but Austin Connolly enters into this game with 1 1/3 inning pitched, a .75 whip, and no runs allowed. That was just in that first game. Those stats are just from that first game against Syracuse. It's all up to the Vikings offense to get something done now in the bottom half of this inning. But first, Austin Connolly's got to get this last out. He's going to get a little bit longer to warm up, and we'll come back. So with 2 outs, Austin Connolly comes in to try and clean it up. With a runner on first, that's Hudson's responsibility. Down 3-1 in this game now. Runner thought about going, doesn't, and that one's poked into left field. A base hit right away. As Pleasant Grove thought they were close to, well, they were on the home stretch, and now starting to unravel a little bit. Connolly now with runners on first and second. Connolly deals. Cut on and missed. Deegan took the pitch to the leg. Says he's all good. So an 0-1 count for Connolly. Pleasant Grove just still searching for that last out of this inning.
On 1 count.
Connolly deals as that pitch is grounded to Baxter. Baxter fields, flips it to second for the easy out, and that will do it here in this inning, but not before Fremont strings together 3 runs. So the Vikings now down 2, looking for a comeback act. It's going to be Koford continuing on the mound for Fremont. We'll come back after this. So for Pleasant Grove, it will be the top of their order after Deegan Thane, but he's not a bad guy to have lead off your inning. It's Deegan Thane, R.J. Wilson, and Drew Smith. And then coming up behind them would be Tua Wolfgram. So probably the 4 guys you'd want most if you're Pleasant Grove here in the bottom of the 7th as they try to mount a rally.
Strike.
Drops it in for a strike to start off Thane. The 0-1 is dropped in for another strike. So successful way to open up the inning so far with an 0-2 count here to Thane. The 0-2. Strike 3, Deegan Thane goes down. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. And that brings up R.J. Wilson. Coming up for his 4th time today. He's been hit by a pitch twice and struck out once. I think he'd be okay getting hit by a pitch this time up. Definitely more okay than he was last time. Instead, he takes a pitch inside for strike 1. The 0-1. Wilson hammers that. Foul. So the 0-2 for RJ is out low and outside, so 1 and 2, he stays alive. Pleasant Grove has to get at least 1 guy on. Wilson swings and misses, so Pleasant Grove now down to the final batter, or what could be the final batter. As up comes Drew Smith. We talked a lot about what Drew has been to this team so far today. Today he has 3 flyouts. Wouldn't mind a fly out here to let the wind carry it a little bit and take it over the fence. Strike 1. The 0-1 fouled back. Now Pleasant Grove down to their final strike. The 0-2 outside. Count moves 1 and 2. A 1 and 2 pitch to Drew Smith. Fouled back, he just barely stays alive. One, 2, hits him, and Drew gets on base. And so that brings up Tua Wolfgram, who is very, very capable of making pitchers pay. Wolfgram so far today, 3 at-bats, 1 walk, 1 fly, 3 plate appearances, 1 walk, 1 flyout, and 1 strikeout. Wolfgram was one of the guys who sent a pitch way deep into left field, but not quite deep enough to go over the fence in the 5th inning. Now he comes up in the bottom of the 7th. He is the tying run. Baxter's on deck. But first, Wolfgram, who takes strike 1 inside. Been great command here in the bottom of the 7th inning for Fremont. It's given Pleasant Grove plenty of pitches to hit, but well-located pitches. The 0-1. Wolfgram fouls it back and out of play. Down to their final strike again. The 0-2 for Wolfgram. Outside. Count moves 1-2. Bubba on the mound. That's what his teammates have been calling him. It's Brant Coford with the 1-2. Low and outside, 2-2. I think Pleasant Grove's going to stay pretty put on the base paths this inning, especially with 2 outs. Can't lose this game by getting thrown out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 2-run deficit for Pleasant Grove. Wolfgram pops it up, stays alive. It goes out of play. So staying alive. We'll do the 2-2 one more time. That's all you can ask for by Wolfgram at this point, is just to stay alive. Try to put one in play. You don't want to go down swinging. The 2-2. Outside, count moves full. The biggest pitch of today's game. No debate about it. Wolfgram at the dish, the payoff pitch. Incoming from Coford. He deals. It's popped up, foul. The runner released with the full count on the 2 outs. So we'll do the payoff pitch one more time for Wolfgram. Smith on first, Baxter on deck. The payoff is low. So that brings the winning run to the plate. Jacob Baxter. As Tua Wolfgram gets on base for the second time today. After his walk in the first inning, he's the only Viking to score today. Jacob Baxter with 2 singles so far today. 2 singles and a flyout. He could bunt, move the runners over, and he has gotten on a lot with those bunts.
Question is, though, would a bunt be a smart option with first and second base?
Yeah, obviously it can't be a sack bunt. You have to get on if you do choose to bunt. But Gabe McCoy's up behind him. Baxter, he's going to swing to short. Shortstop flips to second in time, and that does it. So the Vikings go down 3-1 in 7 innings after going up 1-0 in the first. All 3 runs are surrendered in the 7th. Banks grabs the loss, but a great pitching performance for him today, going 6 2/3, allowing 7 hits, but the 9 Ks is what really stands out. So Banks moves to 1-1 on the season. It's Fremont 3, Pleasant Grove 1. We will see you guys back here on Friday at 4 p.m. as Pleasant Grove takes on the Weber Warriors.